Welcome to All About Art. My name is Alexandra, and I'm an art historian, curator, and writer. Within this podcast, topics relating to art history, cultural policy, the art sector, as well as a large range of other art-related topics will be covered. Conducting critical discussions, having entertaining exchanges, or just enjoying some relaxing chats, All About Art is where you'll find it all. Join me in exploring and developing cultural discourse. Welcome to another episode of All About Art. In this episode, I sat down with Ell Pennick, founder of Guts Gallery here in London. Ell founded Guts as one of the youngest gallerists navigating the art world today. As a working-class queer northerner with no art background, Ell's footing in the art world started with their frustrations at the lack of meaningful opportunities for people like them. Listen on to hear me ask Ell about how their gallery is challenging the status quo and how they got started as an entrepreneur. We speak about the other ventures Ell is pursuing, including the Guts Incubator and Goldie Saloon, a queer-led bar and cafe underneath the gallery, opening soon. We also speak about how they choose the artists they work with, how they develop their collector base, and so much more. Thank you, Ell, for coming on the podcast. Before I dive in, I wanted to let you lovely listeners know that All About Art is on Patreon. So if you want some behind-the-scenes content, maybe a bit of merch, the chance to get one-on-ones with me and my guests, or you're simply wanting to support this project, I would be absolutely thrilled if you decided to sign up. You can do so through the link in the show notes. I also wanted to say thank you to those who have already signed up. Your support means the world, and it makes the further production, improvement, and growth of the podcast possible. And for that, I'm incredibly grateful. And now, on to the interview. Welcome to the podcast, Ell.
Hi, thank you for having me.
To start us off, I would love for you to tell listeners more about your background. I've read in interviews you've given in the past that your journey in the arts began with not being able to accept a place at the Royal College of Art here in London due to your financial status. So after that happened, did you launch Guts straight away, or how was the professional trajectory from there?
No, basically I was living in a pub at the time and working on a bar, and they had a function room upstairs, and it was called the Take Courage Gallery. It was above the Amateur Arms in New Cross.
Yeah, I know it. I've had friends who've exhibited there.
Yeah. So I used to run that for a little bit.
You did? That's amazing.
And that's kind of where it all started. So it was in that little function room in New Cross.
Oh my God. And then you just decided, okay, I can do this for my own
Yeah,
thing.
And then it was... at that point, I was also working for a guy called Kevin, who he's works in tech. And he got me to read the Lean Startup by Eric Rice. And it's about how to start a business as quickly and as profitable as possible.
The Lean Startup.
The Lean Startup. It's amazing.
Okay.
It's like the Bible business book. It really,
how have I not heard about this?
It's fab.
I need to get it. Oh my gosh.
I know. And I started reading that, and I started thinking, how can I start a business while with as little money as possible? And the first was to be nomadic and not pay for rent. And that's when I started bobbing around and getting free spaces and going under the name of Guts.
Yeah. Because as I think the motto is, you need guts. You need to have guts in order to start an art business in London.
I think so.
It's
pretty mental to be doing it. Like, it was a crazy move. The guts to do something, and a gut feeling as well is where it comes from.
A gut feeling as well. Yeah, that's really good. I need to trust my gut feeling a little bit more. Just so that listeners aren't surprised if they hear noises in the background. I'm sitting here with Elvis, who is Elle's dog, and I'm absolutely in love. He's on my lap, and so that sound might be feeding into the microphone. Just a little disclaimer in case there's any dog noises. So, Elle, I want to ask you, how does the Guts business model differ from what we know as the classic gallery model today? And what I'm asking with this as well is kind of, how are you challenging the status quo?
So we don't represent, we champion. So we don't have contracts with the artists. It's super fluid and based on loyalty and trust. We take a lower percentage on commission, and we are big advocates for mental health as well as like physical health and looking after the artists in that way. We basically censor the artists as much as possible. We've created code of conducts,
I've read
code
those.
of ethics.
Yeah, I've read those on your website. It's really, really good.
No gallery has, which is absolutely mad, I think.
Absolutely.
And so many industries now have them, and they have to have them.
Yeah.
That's progressive. And why is the art world like falling behind with that? So that's a reason why I've implemented those models, which has been really refreshing. We've had good feedback from it as well.
Yeah. I mean, I remember because obviously when creating the questions for this episode, I was researching and I was on the Guts website and I was reading that and I was like, this is great. Like this is...
thank you.
I really hope that, because, you know, there's also this awkward thing about like quote unquote copying people, but I hope that that gets copied and copied and copied and copied, and that people really take note, because something like that is incredibly important. And I think you're really setting the tone for actually what should be industry standard in making sure that people feel like it's an inclusive space.
Yeah, no, thank you. That is definitely something that that's the aim. I want to set a standard and for others to follow. And I think other people have started doing quite similar stuff, which has been amazing to see and to watch. Now we're just getting the blue chip galleries to follow suit as well.
Yeah, I think it would be really amazing for it to follow through not just the emerging galleries, but also, as you say, the blue chip and also like auction houses and things like that. Because, like, let's be real, the reputation as like healthy working environments, they're not great when it comes to like big galleries and things like that. Yeah,
exactly. I mean, some galleries don't even have a HR department.
Oh, most galleries don't
have an HR department.
Or they have a person who's quote-unquote HR.
Yeah. I've got somebody external who's HR, so people can go to, my staff can go to them if they want anything.
That's great.
And even in small businesses, I think we need to get into the habit of having HR and implementing these people and these structures as well.
I didn't even know that there are companies that, like external HR companies that you can consult. Yeah. And they just...
Yeah, it's a consultant that I found who's amazing and really like non-biased, and just it's perfect. It really works with our structure.
Yeah. Yes, Elvis.
Thank you, Elvis.
So I want to ask you, coming from a lower income background, how did you get off the ground with Guts? Because I read in an interview with another magazine, which I can link in the show notes for listeners to read in case they're interested, that you credit the gallerist Sadie Coles with providing startup funding to get you off the ground.
I started at Indiegogo, like funding platform, and I sent it to all the blue chip galleries. Mm-hmm. I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to try this, see if it works. I sent it to Sadie Coles, and she donated, and that helped. And it was a few £100, but it really just like helped me get off the ground and started Guts. Yeah. So I'm very, very grateful to her for that.
That's fabulous. I love that. I hear very amazing things about some, and more specifically, some female gallerists who really like to, I guess, pay it forward in a sense of like supporting younger gallerists. And that brings me to my next question, which ties directly into supporting other initiatives and endeavors, because you run Guts Projects, which aims to support new ventures by providing free space, advice, and technical support to helping selected enterprises get off the ground. And now, along with Goldie's Saloon, a recently announced queer-led cafe and bar opening soon, which is incredibly exciting.
It's making my life just easier.
Let's do more businesses.
Let's do more. How can we help the queers?
We've got the working class, the queers. We're all it's great. I love it. Can you tell me more about these auxiliary models that you have of your business? Yeah,
so Guts Projects was inspired by when Sadie Coles actually gave us the shop to exhibit. So that was on Kingley Street.
Yeah.
And she rang me up one day and said, do you want to do a show over London Gallery Weekend a few years back? And it was amazing. I was like, thank you so much. Yeah, I'll do it. And then when I got the physical space, I was in the office and I was looking around at the bare walls, and I thought, I can give this out for free and help other people and do what she did for me.
Yeah.
So that's where the idea came from. And, you know, rent is so high in London at the moment. It's a brutal industry. It's really hard to get into. I know firsthand how difficult that is.
Yeah.
So that's where the inspiration came from, and that's where Guts Projects was rooted, really.
And can you sort of apply to be an enterprise that's supported by Guts Projects?
Yeah. You just apply through the website, and then Jamie, our gallery manager, goes through the applications and then selects people he thinks have a great application. Basically.
Yeah. Amazing.
And then we put everybody in order as when they've applied, so we make it as fair as possible.
Okay. And I'm kind of going off script here, but do you also, in terms of these enterprises, what sort of enterprises do you look for? Do you support also younger galleries getting off the ground? Because
definitely.
That's kind of like a direct competitor. How do you feel about that?
I think that's amazing. I think we should all be doing that. I don't see them as competitors. I see them as friends. And, I know that I'm still young, but there is going to be a generation after me as well. And we want those people to be in good stead and to have created a path and of diversity in a really new, beautiful art world. That's what I'd love to see.
Yeah.
And it's these people who are going to do it. I think that I'm chipping away, but I don't think I'll fully break through and change the whole system. So it's about other people as well, and it's doing it collectively.
Not one person can change.
No,
this problem.
I figured that out the hard way.
God, yeah.
For 3 years working my ass off, and you do figure that out. But it is about working as a collective and working with people and community. That's where true change comes from.
Yeah. And now you have a permanent space in Hackney. So you're no longer nomadic. And that's also where Guts Projects has its space as well, because you just said the office, and that's in Hackney in the gallery space as well.
Yeah, it is. We managed to get a permanent space, which was amazing.
How long have you had that?
2 years now.
Nice.
I know it's gone by really quick.
Yeah.
But it's amazing. It's a bit of stability for the artist as well, which is great. We've got storage on site. It made sense for us at the time to do it. I saved enough money to be able to do it.
Through a nomadic model,
Yeah.
you were able to then put money. No chewing.
Elvis.
You're chewing my buttons. Oh my God, I've got dog hair everywhere. What a pleasure.
I know he's shedding his summer fur.
Beautiful long-haired dachshund. Yeah. Where was I? I was asking. Oh, yeah. So you had the nomadic, no chewing.
Elvis.
Oh, you had the nomadic kind of model.
Yeah.
And that allowed you to basically build a financial base in order to have a permanent space.
Yeah.
So is that something that you'd say you'd actually recommend if someone was starting out?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. I think there's less risk doing that as well.
Yeah.
So you're not putting too much finance on the line, which is good. What is it?
So that's actually really interesting. And tell me more about Goldie Saloon, because this isn't an art project. This is for the queer community.
Yeah, so Goldie Saloon, there's a space downstairs, and May, who I work with, and I used to date actually, we always wanted to start a bar. This was 7 years ago. We had this conversation about opening a queer bar for the queers, run by the queers. It was a pipe dream. And then the space underneath Guts became available, and I just thought, fuck it, let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's open a queer bar because it's needed. And the response has been amazing, and the support has been phenomenal.
When it comes to the art world, a glaringly obvious issue in the sector, which we've touched on a little bit earlier in this episode, but I really do want to delve deeper into, is class.
Yeah.
So you come from a working class background, which is something quite rare to see in the arts, because there aren't necessarily any structures in place in the sector to actually support people from lower income backgrounds. I myself also come from a lower income background, and so I really, really know.
Yeah.
So what would you wish to have had when you started out? So in terms of support and resources that maybe didn't exist then but exist now, or maybe still don't exist and we need to actually work on to improve?
I think advice was something that just wasn't there. Financial support or bursaries, that just wasn't there. and community and collectives, they were there as well.
Yeah. I hope the microphone picks that up.
It's cute.
It is cute. It's great. We usually don't have a third podcast guest, and so it's very special.
Congrats.
So bursaries, financial support, but also community and advice.
Yeah. It was all just lacking. It wasn't there.
Yeah.
Minus Sadie. But otherwise the support just wasn't there. And the system is set up for people from lower income backgrounds to not succeed. It is in the world in general, do you know what I mean? And the art world just reflects politics and society. So unfortunately, there's barriers, which is disgraceful, really. In this day and age, it really is.
Absolutely. I think that this is something that I could also personally go on and on about, because it's not just things like the hard facts, the things that you can measure in numbers and percentages in terms of like how much people earn and how much rent costs, and how if you're starting out in the arts, it's nearly impossible to actually afford a place to live. And I mean, I moved to London in 2017, and so my rent at the time, I was able to get a room that cost me £400 a month, which is unheard of now.
Now
you could never do that.
You're looking at over £1,000 now for rooms.
It's
crazy.
It's nuts. And like, I was in Kilburn, and like the insulation in our flat was so bad that the laundry detergent froze in the winter. Wow. It was terrible. But I was, I moved to London with this idea of like, I'm going to go into the arts and I'm going to work. And I worked as a barista. And then I was lucky and I got a job at Sotheby's as front of house.
Yeah.
And I worked 2 jobs for a while as well. And so, while going to university, and that's how I was able to get my foot in the door.
It's phenomenal that MAs and Masters, they do not want you to work. Like, part of when you get interviewed, they say, we'd rather you not work.
Really?
Yeah.
I thankfully didn't have that situation at
good.
all.
Good.
And also, I wouldn't listen. Like, in what world?
I think, exactly. No, but you're echoing what I think, like, completely.
Yeah.
I completely agree. And it's fucked.
Yeah, it is.
Bluntly.
It is. In the same vein, there's, it's absolutely fucked, like when we think about that. But then there's also these soft skills, or these things that are very unspoken and also not even coming close to being talked about in reality. And it's like the circles that you move in that end up giving you the opportunities to either have a job or to sell a work of art, or to make a connection to someone from an institution because they're patrons of the institution because they can afford to be. And you're just in the same room because you come from the same background or know similar people. But,
I think that was the hardest part of starting Guts as well, was expanding the collector base, or having a collector base to begin with. Like, that was really, really, really tough because I didn't know anybody who had money. Like, end of, there was no connection at all. And, the collectors that I work with, I absolutely adore them, and they're so supportive, and we're from very, very different backgrounds. And that's always been quite interesting. But it's how they use their privilege for the best. Do you know what I mean? So I really respect them in that way. But without the press that I got over COVID and the fact that collectors talked to each other and recommended me, I wouldn't be in the position that I'm in now. It was a complete fluke, and it's so hard to build your collector base when you don't know anybody.
Yeah. Well, because that is actually my next question, because when it comes to business getting and developing that client base, as I just said, when you come from an upper middle class or upper class background, these relationships to clients are really easy to form. So how do you approach this for anyone listening who might be really interested in starting their own gallery but coming from a similar background to us? How would you recommend that they do that, and how do you think that you do it?
I think it's to have a strong mission statement, a very strong mission statement, and to be very honest about who you are as a person in your background. I think collectors really appreciate that, and they really respect that, and press also like that as well, and they do like bite with that, which is amazing. I'm very lucky to have that. Yeah, I think it is literally about your USP, your mission statement, and how you stand out and what you are doing differently from the other galleries.
Yeah, yeah. And also going a bit off script, but how do you go about selecting artists that you work with?
I've met them in the weirdest ways.
Yeah.
I've met one artist on Hinge. I've met
I read that in an article that you...
That was in the New York Times, I think. And I was like, shit. One of my most important articles that I could do, and then I was like, I just dropped that one.
I met an artist on Hinge.
Find
Elle on Hinge, everybody.
And they were like, just so bad.
That's
barbecues,
hilarious.
pubs, Instagram, of course. Like I've met them in really, really weird ways. But I'm friends with all the artists that I work with, which is lovely.
If an artist is listening in who would be interested, in knowing how to get a gallery's attention, do you think meeting them, or do you think approaching them on Instagram is a good way to do it? Or do you think, grad shows are great, but only if you're graduating from an MFA, so maybe.
Exactly. So it's tough. The thing is that galleries are just so busy, and so we do get a lot of requests and emails that we just can't get through because of our workload.
Yeah.
But it's about, if you can, turning up to the shows and engaging, within the community and liking stuff on Instagram. And that's how people have got my attention before, just from liking stuff and commenting.
Yeah.
And then I've seen their work and then I put them in a show.
Yeah.
It can be as simple as that. But I don't like I don't like a forceful approach. I've always struggled with that. I'm not that type of person in general. Some people are. I'm just not. I prefer to be a bit more relaxed and just easygoing and see how it goes with the relationship. Yeah.
Yeah, I prefer that as well. I prefer it if someone's, if it's quite easygoing. I love doing studio visits as well.
Oh, yeah.
I think that having a little bit more of a relaxed approach is nice.
Yeah, I do.
It's comfortable.
Yeah.
And it's authentic, isn't it? It feels...
It cuts the show a bit, do you know what I mean?
It does, yeah.
Yeah, it's important.
Another thing that I'm curious about in terms of, this aspect of authenticity, but also a chilled approach to things. Do you have curators that you work with, or do you curate the shows? How do you end up approaching that aspect?
So I curate the shows myself mainly, but then we've started to bring in external curators as well, which has been really fun and exciting. And it's less work for me as well, I figured out, which is a win-win situation, really.
Yeah, that's how I feel about the podcast.
I love working with different people. It's fun, so...
I think that's really good, because isn't it also, I guess, this ethos of building a community, and that just solidifies that, because it not only gives people the opportunity to have experience with you, your gallery, with the artists that you champion, but it also gives you the opportunity to deeply connect with people, see how they work. I feel like even with things like a podcast episode for me, I have a much deeper relationship to someone if they've come on the podcast, because I get to talk to them and I get to really
delve into their
and so I guess that would be a similar approach if you invite someone to come and curate, or invite, or do you do open calls as well?
Invite is mainly invite and just again, it's how I meet the artists. I meet curators in quite a similar way, which is lovely.
Yeah. So looking ahead, are there any upcoming plans or future goals for Guts Gallery, or, for yourself, that you can divulge with me here today?
I'd love to expand eventually. Maybe open another space eventually.
Internationally, or
maybe
in London?
Maybe
or
internationally.
What's the vision?
It depends. It depends where I think I'm at as well, and my staff are at. It completely depends. But I would love to go international one day. I think America would be where I would go.
America, really?
Most of our clients are over there. They're amazing, especially in New York.
Really?
We've got a lot of clients.
So would you want to go to New York?
Yeah, I love New York in general. It's fast-paced. It's faster than London, right? But I think that it would be quite interesting.
So New York is really fast-paced, but you love it?
Yeah, I love it. And it would be like a dream to open a space there, but we'll see.
Guts Gallery, New York.
London. Peckham is the only 4 horses. What was it? Paris, London, Peckham or something. I can't remember how it goes. It's so funny though.
Oh yeah, I mean that sounds really amazing, and I'm actually surprised that you say the U.S.
Yeah,
but
we've got the collectors there I work with are just from all across the world. It's mad.
That's great.
Yeah, I'm very lucky.
Yeah,
but most of them are international, which is really interesting.
Do you do art fairs?
No.
Is that like a decision because you're like, I don't want to do art fairs, or do you not do art fairs because it's not the right time for the gallery at the moment?
I think it's about it's just not the right time. I mean, there's so many galleries that have done so well, like Hannah Barry Gallery, who doesn't do art fairs. Like, they've absolutely nailed it with their programming and what they do with the artists, like with George Rui, for example. Yeah. She's absolutely nailed it, Hannah has. So there's no need, I don't feel a need to do it, but if the artist really wanted to do it, then I would apply and then see what would happen. It's about the artist.
Really? So if the artist wanted to do an art fair, then you would apply. I really, really love that approach. It's
It's about them, it's not about me.
Yeah.
Just like absolutely. Reframing it, so yeah.
I think that, I mean, I don't know, I've only ever worked in blue chip galleries, which obviously, I guess I wouldn't say that they have a different approach, but it's very much, it's a whole different level. Like, it's a different way of looking at the business. And the artist liaisons are obviously the ones that really they have the artist in their focus. But there's so many other cogs turning elsewhere in these big teams and things like that. So I guess this is kind of my explanation of saying that it's not like big galleries aren't focused on the artists, because like the gallery I work at now is super focused.
Of course they are,
Yeah. But it just, I feel like those business decisions wouldn't be made if the artist wanted to.
Yeah.
I feel like that is a really strong approach.
And that's the crucial part of it, right? Like, does the artist actually want to do it?
Yeah.
Some of them do, some of them don't. So I'm having conversations with them at the moment, and we're just going to see what's going to happen.
That's so interesting. I mean, there's so many cool art fairs, and there's so many also like cool, I guess, auxiliary programs with art fairs. Like, even with Frieze, they have the, what is it called? Frieze Focus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've got Lister at the Art Basel.
Yeah, exactly, which is amazing.
Yeah.
You know, and so those are really, really exciting, because they're, as much as like art fairs can be problematic spaces in their own ways, I think that it's really, really great that they have these programs that also look at younger gallerists to be like, okay, these are smaller businesses, and we don't want someone like, you know, we don't want only blue chip galleries here. We want like, you know, emerging art galleries.
I think they still need to work on the prices though.
I don't know how much it costs.
I would love to
apply for the focus section.
Oh, it's still ridiculous.
How much is it?
I think it's like $8,000 or something. But like that, it's nothing for the blue chips. But for, you know,
I mean, and
business,
that's for the focus section.
But
the blue chips pay.
Oh, they pay
a lot more.
So much, ridiculous amount. But still, that is a lot. I think that it could be lower. It should be at least half of that.
I think 4K would probably, I mean, I don't know, coming from someone who does not run a business, so I actually shouldn't give my opinion.
No, go on, give us your opinion.
But I do think that 4K is like, that's way more doable.
Yeah, no, me too.
But 8K is like, that's tough.
Yeah,
that's tough.
It is tough. It's just that little bit too much, I think. They need to reevaluate it. I'm very happy to talk to anybody who directs Frieze.
Yeah, so if anybody who directs Frieze is listening to this,
I've got like a lot of ideas around how you can restructure an art fair. But yeah,
if someone from Frieze Art Fair is listening, I genuinely do hope that they get in touch, because
I hope so. I'm always up for a conversation.
That would be really, really good.
I think conversations, you know, that change comes from conversation. So.
Yeah, absolutely it does. And I don't think that enough conversations are had surrounding these things. Like, I feel like maybe it's just some of the circles that I've moved in. I don't know how you feel, because you are very vocal about your positioning, about the fact that your mission statement is tied into your background. I feel like, you know, how do you feel or maybe how did you feel when you were first starting out, when you really stood by your background and started having these conversations that a lot of people weren't having?
Yeah.
Did you feel uncomfortable with that? Did you feel like there was a lot of backlash?
I did feel uncomfortable. I felt out of my depth, but I persevered because I was so angry with the situation. Like the anger got me through it. But yeah, I did feel really out of my depth, and I still do sometimes.
You do?
Yeah, like it's still classist. It's brutal out there. It's like fighting a brick wall sometimes, but you know, you keep going. Thanks, Elvis, for the squeak. You got that right.
Like we're
timing.
talking about something very serious, and it's just Elvis going squeak in the background. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, it is tough out there, and I feel like when, even coming from a lower income background, sometimes I then get so entrenched in how classist the art world is, and then I catch things in myself as well, where I'm like, ooh, that's actually slightly classist.
Yeah.
Or like you aren't being fair, or like why it basically I am thankfully aware enough of a lot of things, definitely not everything, or as well as I maybe could be, in terms of things that are completely normalized, like unpaid internships.
Yeah, oh God, we don't do them. Like, I just fundamentally disagree.
I don't think that they're legal now anyway anymore.
I mean, the time is value. It's like...
Yeah.
The art world really fucks up with that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's one of the lists that's just like...
How do you feel about if someone couldn't afford to pay someone but like needed help or could give something else, like mentoring?
It's what you give in return. I think that's what I mean by like time is value. I'm not saying time is money, but it's value.
Yeah.
It's like what can you get in return that is valuable to that individual? And sometimes that is money, sometimes that is mentorship. It completely depends on the person, I think.
Yeah, I think I completely agree with you. I think that that's actually something that's a really strong statement that is important to hone home, is like hone home. Is that a saying? To hone in on, to drive home.
Yes, yeah.
There we go. It's a really, really important statement to drive home, and that is what you just said, time is value.
Yeah.
And so if someone can be giving mentorship or advice or support in some other way, that is still also incredibly valuable.
Yeah.
Bringing someone into a community, introducing them to people, i.e. potentially collectors or, things like that. That's all very valuable as well. And so maybe business owners could start thinking outside the box as well in terms of, all right, I may not be able to pay my staff as much as I would like to.
But what else can you do?
Yeah.
I think it's also like, we always do perks as well at Guts. Like
Really?
We pay them a good amount, like either equal or more than the blue chip. That's my, which is a lot for a small business.
Yeah.
However, we do perks, like the holidays are really good. You can get time off for grief, loss, like, and it doesn't matter. It's not just about family, like it can be friends as well. Like we try to make our contracts as open-minded as possible. And also not having maternity and paternity leave, just having leave, like without, having to say it's a man or a woman. Like I completely disagree with that.
Yeah.
Like we're trying to do things differently with that as well.
Yeah.
For the staff.
Yeah. Just parental leave.
Yeah, parental leave. It can be simple as that.
Yeah.
And you get the same amount of time.
Yeah.
No matter
I find
gender or sexual orientation or what.
Wild that it's not the same, that you don't even have
crazy.
The opportunity. It's
I
just,
know.
It's like, all right, so we're all in agreement here that like women do more like, household labor, unpaid labor.
Yeah.
And like, it's more onus on the woman, or like more responsibility is put on a woman in a heterosexual relationship to take care of a child.
Yeah.
And then we look at the actual laws and structures and policies in place that just completely reinforce that.
Yeah, it's fucked.
Yeah. But like from my own personal experiences, having not had maybe compassionate leave when I should have had it, or, having my employers advocate for me as well as me for myself, I think that it's really amazing. Again, as I said, like you are setting a standard that should be industry norm and that isn't yet.
Yeah.
But everyone should be taking a page out of your book.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
No, that means a lot. And
Absolutely.
you know, hopefully it's happening slowly, but yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. At least you're doing it.
Yeah, exactly. And others are following, which is amazing to see.
Yeah. Well, so finally, my last question of the episode. It's a fun one to end the episode, and I ask all of my guests. If you could pick one artist from art history to have dinner with, who would it be and why?
Can I pick my championed artist to have a big dinner with them?
Yeah.
Yeah. I want a big dinner with my championed artists because they're just good fun and they make me so happy.
How big is this dinner going to be? How many artists do you champion?
There's 4 at the moment, so just
it's going to be nice
with the staff. Like it's going to be here. It's going to be nice. It's going to be chill. So that's what I'm thinking.
Good.
Yeah, I would.
Can you name them?
Yeah, Shadia Al-Atla, Elsa Rui, Sophie Valance-Cantor, and Olivia Sterling.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. That's going to be in our newsletter.
Full of them.
Yeah, that's absolutely amazing. Well, Elle, that concludes all of my questions.
Thank you.
And Elvis, thank you so much for participating in the episode. It was a pleasure.
Thank you so much for having me.
And that is it for today on All About Art. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave me a rating or a review, as it helps more people discover the show. Also, feel free to share with your friends, or if you share on social media, tag me and get in touch. Thank you so much for listening.